Hey guys, Donnie here. Thanks for watching the YouTube video. If you would help me out, like the video, hit that bell and subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. Today we're going to jump in and talk about questions to ask your broker. If you're looking to get your real estate license or if you've had a license for a while and you're looking to make a change, the questions you ask will probably change a little bit. I'm really going to focus on new agents today because anytime you're a new agent, you're pretty much always going to have to figure out who your broker is going to be. And I know that's true for my state. Could vary a little bit in your state. So here we go. Let's just jump right in. Number one, this is the one that just about everybody thinks about, and these are not in any particular order, but this is definitely important. Maybe not quite as important as what everybody else thinks, but this is definitely at the top of the list. Obviously, training. When you're a new agent, you're getting into real estate, there are thousands of things to learn. There's so many things to learn that you've never thought of, that you never knew you were going to experience, you were going to need to know. And if you've gone through real estate school, you didn't even scratch the surface of what you're going to need. So number one, you need to find out what the training is. And here's the important things about training. Be detailed. I find that brokers often say, yeah, we're going to train you. We have great training. We've got the best training in the world. And it's simply classroom training with somebody who's not high production teaching it, and they're teaching it because they're the ones that have the time to teach it. So you need to know when the training is. Is there any flexibility to it, or is it a class that is taught once every 10 weeks, and if you miss it, you don't get it again for 10 weeks? That's really important. There's a lot of brokerages that teach classes in order. Not that that's wrong, but if you miss it and you can't make it, are you going to be able to make it up? So that's really important. Where the classes are. If the office location is far away from you and all the training is there, and you're not going to want to drive 45 minutes every day to get to the training, it's going to get old really fast. Be aware of that. Is it an environment where you can learn and where you can take advantage of that training? And then last, and this is probably the most important part of the training, who is actually teaching the training? Is it somebody who has sold a lot of houses? Is it somebody who's still in production? Is it somebody that is still highly involved in the market? Not that you have to have all those things for training, but there should be some combination of those things. It shouldn't be someone who was a great agent 20 years ago but knows nothing about technology, and now they're doing training because they don't want to get out and sell houses anymore because they're tired of it. It shouldn't be someone who's in the office and they only sell 5 houses a year and they do a lot of training because they happen to have time to do the training because they're not doing a lot of production. It should be someone who truly knows real estate, who truly knows today's market, who knows technology, plus knows the ins and outs of real estate, doing the contracts, fair housing, all those things. The list goes on and on and on. But somebody who's knowledgeable and can show you how to actually meet your goals. If your goal is to sell 20 houses the first year, and the person training you has been in business 10 years and they only sell 5 a year, are they going to be able to help you get to selling 20 your first year? If they've never done it, probably not, okay? So keep that in mind. That's the most important things about training. Who will help you implement the training? This is what I think is the most important. You can train all day, every week, for months at a time, and if you don't implement any of that training, none of it matters. You can be the best trained real estate agent in the world, but if you don't talk to people about real estate and you don't get clients, you're not going to get to use any of that training. By the same token, you could have mediocre training, but be a really good implementer and get on the phone 5 hours a day and talk to 100 people a day, and you're probably going to sell houses. And you'll get really good at real estate from that experience because practice makes perfect. So you really need to know how they're going to help you implement the training. I know that's one of the things we do at our team. We're really big on training, but then we're really big on the implementation and having people take action right away and put that training into place. Office space. If you have to work from the home, what does the office space look like? It doesn't have to be some luxurious private office, whatnot. But if you need a space that you can go in and work, make sure there's at least a workstation, a cubicle, someplace that if you need a place to get out of the house and work, you have a place that you can do that. Some people don't need office space at all. I pretty much always work from home, and I would say 450 houses last year. I've done okay that way. Last year we had COVID. All of my team worked from home and they did pretty doggone good. So workspace isn't necessary by any means. If you think you're going to need it though, make sure your broker can accommodate what you need. Who will answer questions? This is a big one. No matter how much training you get as a new agent, when you go to take action, you're going to forget some of it. You're human. On average, humans forget 75 to 85% of what they learn in a classroom when they walk out the door. Come Friday night, when you go show a house Friday afternoon, because a lot of houses are sold on weekends, and you need to write an offer at 8 o'clock Friday night, and highest and best is due at 10 o'clock Saturday morning because it's multiple offers and this market is crazy hot. Who can you reach at 8 o'clock on Friday night to answer your questions? Oftentimes, brokers are really, really hard to reach on Friday nights and Saturdays, or they've got 300 agents under them and just don't have time to get to everybody, whatever the case might be. You need to know who's going to answer your questions, who is available, what's the correct form of communication to reach them the quickest, and you need to know, is that going to change on nights and weekends? Is it going to be the same person, or are they actually going to be available on nights and weekends to help you out? That's definitely a big one that you need to check out. Oftentimes, agents have unrealistic expectations or expectations that don't match their broker's expectations, and they may be doing a great job. The broker may be doing a great job, but then the relationship doesn't work out because the agent expects to get an answer within 15 minutes at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, and that may not be feasible for your broker. So if that's something that's really important to you, you need to ask that question. Ask about the average agent production of the brokerage. I hesitated to put this one in here because it can be skewed heavily, but I do think it's important that you see that agents in the brokerage are converting and it's somebody other than the broker converting. If it's a small boutique brokerage, is the broker selling 50 houses a year, but then there's 3 other agents and they all sell 3. So you got to be aware of that and be aware of if they're actually helping any other agent succeed anywhere near the level that you're succeeding. So I think that is important. Now I want to give you a caveat for this one. Don't hold it against a broker because all the agents don't sell a ton of houses. Here's the truth. We know the average agent around the country only sells about 6 houses a year. That's across the whole broad spectrum of brokers. That's across the whole broad spectrum of broker systems, the whole spectrum of broker training. So what that tells me, the broker doesn't really make the agent successful. Some people come in and sell 50 houses their first year, and some other people are under the same broker with the same training and the same access and the same office, and they're there for 10 years and only sell 5 houses a year. So keep that in mind. Don't necessarily hold the average against a broker because they can't make people work. But if everybody there is on the average and that average is really low, then that is something that you need to be aware of and check out. That might be a clue of whether or not they're really helping the agents. Ask about leads. This is a huge indicator. What I see is brokerages and teams that provide their agents with leads. In general, the agents sell more houses, period. Leads are huge. A lot of agents don't have the marketing budget to produce their own leads. A lot of agents don't realize when they get into business that job number 1 is to find clients. And a lot of times that's the hardest part for a lot of agents is getting the actual leads. Find out if your brokerage or a team within the brokerage, whoever it is, somebody provides you with leads, especially if you're new and especially if you don't know a lot of people have a large sphere of influence. That's important. Lastly, or next to last, and this is one that I think way too many people focus way too much on when they're brand new, splits. Yes, splits are important. If the average split in your area is a 70-30, should you go work for a broker that is 80-20, meaning they keep 80% and only give you 20? Probably not unless they offer something really special. However, if that broker is giving you 20%, offers something crazy to help you sell a ton of houses and make more money, that's okay. But don't get caught up in just the split of, oh, well, this broker offers me 90-10, this one offers me 70-30, so I'm going to go with the 90-10. Oftentimes, we find that half of a watermelon is a whole lot more than a whole grape, okay? So splits are important, but be aware of what the whole value package is there. Don't just go to the discount broker or the flat fee broker because they charge $395 a deal and you think, oh, well, I don't have to give up as much of my commission. But if they don't offer you anything, 100% of nothing is still nothing. So keep that in mind. Splits are important, but I think especially as new agents, way too much emphasis is put on splits. Last, are there future opportunities at your brokerage? So this is really important. When you first get into real estate, you're only going to be interested in how do you help me sell houses, which is what you should be interested in. However, at some point, you're going to realize that realtors work a lot of times a really long time because they don't have anything to show for all their work. They make a decent living, maybe they make a great living, but there's nothing to show for it. And the day they quit selling houses, the income stops. there are some brokerages out there that are offering things such as residual income if you do any recruiting, or stock options. Regardless, they're giving their agents multiple ways to have something in the future. So this is really important to think about. If you're expecting to have a 20, 30, 40-year career in real estate, think about, yes, they got to help you sell houses and pay your bills today, but think about your future as well. Is there opportunity there? Do they care enough about the agents that they give you future opportunity as well, or do they only care about what you're going to produce for them today because they know they've got 200 other agents producing for them, and they aren't providing you the opportunity to make money from those other agents producing just like they are? So I hope this helps. These are obviously not all the questions. There could be many more, but this is a lot of the most important ones. Stay focused on your goals. Ask the right questions. Think about the questions you're going to ask before you go in to interview brokers so that you can get the information that is important to you. More important than anything, you want to find the person who, and the brokerage and the location that is a great fit for you to help you take your career to the level you want to take it to.